Please join me in welcoming 3 state-level Latina lawmakers who are rising stars in their respective parties. Let's start with Delegate Hala Ayala, a Democrat in the Virginia House of Delegates; Assemblywoman Nicole Malliotakis, a Republican member of the New York State Assembly; and Delegate Elizabeth Guzman, a Democratic member of the Virginia House of Delegates. And joining our Latina lawmakers is Rafael Bernal, a correspondent with The Hill Latino. Rafael, all yours.
Assemblywoman, what does it mean to be, and remind the audience, you are a Republican. What does it mean to be a Latina in the age of Trump?
I'm a supporter of the president. I think he's doing a good job. I think that there's a lot of things that he's addressing, and I agree with what he's doing. And at the end of the day, he's actually improved economic opportunities for Latinas, let's say Latino community as a whole, as well as women with the lowest unemployment, adding 6 million jobs to our, in our economy. And I think that, we are all being lifted by that.
Delegate Guzman, from the perspective of a Democrat, Latina immigrant, how do you feel about being a Latina in the age of Trump?
I would start from the perspective of a mother immigrant who came to this country with a child looking for better opportunities for my children. So I would start by saying that I'm appalled by his policies, by a policy of separating children from their parents at the border.
You can establish a policy, but how you carry out that policy is subjective to the administration who is governing that policy. So when you are separating people at the border, you're putting us in cages like pets, animals. This is not humanitarian.
Stark differences, and we know it. We all read the news, write, watch, whatever the news, we all know it. Where's the common ground?
Well, look, I think this was a policy that was in place prior to this president's administration. And quite frankly, the president's looking to change our immigration policies. He has to have a Congress that's willing to work with him to do that. And I think there is common ground to be achieved here. And there's been discussion about it, but unfortunately it doesn't seem, at least with this House of Representatives, that they're actually going to come to some form of agreement, to secure the borders, but to also streamline our process, which is very archaic. We have to streamline it to help people who do want to become citizens come in through proper channels and according to our laws.
Assemblywoman, do you feel that your identity, both your gender identity, your ethnic identity, how you grew up, where your family came from, how do you inject that into the policy decisions you make and into the proposals you give when you're out on the campaign trail, and into what politicians you support?
My parents were both poor immigrants. They came here not knowing the language. They came here not having friends. They came here without any family. They met in New York, and that is the American dream. We want to keep the aspiration of the American dream. When I see individuals or legislators or members of Congress that are trying to move our country towards a socialist path, I wonder why they're proposing that. I mean, as a matter of fact, I would say, and I have a very diverse district. We do have many immigrants in my district from many different parts of the world. And I would say that some of the policies that are being proposed today are the very reasons why my constituents fled their homelands to escape those policies. And so I think that has given me a perspective as well to fight back against some of the rhetoric and the proposals that we're seeing that I may not agree with.
We will respectfully disagree, but when they call progressive a bad word, or liberal a bad word, when they call socialist a bad word, it's a word. It has nothing to do with who we are. I will gladly pick up all of those words and wear them as a badge of honor.
Assemblywoman, you're running for Congress. How'd you make that decision?
We are built on a two-party system. It is so important for debate and discussion that you have alternative views and you share those views, and that's how policy is crafted in a better way, by having multiple people from with different views come together to work on a solution. And that's what compromise is all about. I believe that New York City does deserve to have someone of the opposing view that will come to Washington and fight for their interests. Look, I ran for mayor of the city of New York. And I could tell you that there are hundreds of thousands of people in the city of New York who feel that currently they're not represented, not at the city level, maybe not at the state level, and certainly not at the federal level. I think that there needs to be a real discussion about where we want to take the future of our nation. And particularly, as I mentioned before, I truly feel that socialism is not the path, and I'm looking forward to coming to Washington to fight back on that.
Assemblywoman, there only seems to be one Republican running for president.
I look forward to sharing the ticket with President Trump, who, by the way, won this district by 10% in 2016. And so it is a Republican-leaning district. We hope to win the seat back. But I agree that I would love to see a woman not only be president one day, but also be mayor of New York City one day and governor of New York State for being one of the most progressive cities and states. Never had a female mayor or governor,
We can
or
agree on
Latino,
that.
or Latino for that matter.
I could agree on that.
And maybe that will be Nikki Haley.
There we
Let
go.
me